Hi everyone, so today I'm super excited to share an embroidery machine with you. It's a Poolin EOC05. They have two models, but this is the, I guess, smaller in a way, but we'll talk about the hoop size and those things in a minute. They do have a larger model that does have some different hoop sizes, and it just works a little bit differently than this model. But Poolin did offer to send one for my review and tutorial, show it to you guys. So I went ahead and accepted that offer, of course. And so, this was sent free of charge for my review. And of course, all opinions are my own. So as far as the links I'll have in the description box, I will have linked to Amazon. And that would be an affiliate link, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. I know with the Amazon link, you can pop over there. It'll have sometimes a coupon, like right now as I'm filming it, there is a $100 coupon. You can just click say you want the coupon, and it has 2-day delivery. So I'm assuming that means it's in an Amazon warehouse here in the US. I also have the link to Rich Word, which is the company that puts out this pull-in machine. And on their site, they have all kinds of things, embroidery related, mighty hoops, all these other things that you can pick up. I believe that is based in China, so like this one did come in from China, so I can give you a good example of what that looks like and how it arrived. Like I said, they do have some in the Amazon warehouse. And I'll also have a link to Rich Word that goes to their free designs. So there are designs already loaded onto the machine, but they have hundreds of designs on their site that you can download. Even if you don't have a pull-in machine, you can download. They are, I believe, DST and DSB format, so just keep that in mind. But I did want to show you from unboxing today to getting it ready, to do our first embroidery and all that kinds of stuff. So today we'll do an unboxing. Let's see what it looks like, what all comes in the kit. And in the second video, we'll get to embroidering. So I just wanted to give you all that info so you see exactly what we have. It is in a brown box here. It does say UPS inspection because, again, it did come from outside of the US. With that, like I said, the Amazon one should be coming out of an Amazon warehouse when they have 2-day shipping, 2-day delivery. Obviously it's here stateside. At least I'm in the US, so that's why I'm referring to that. Again, this pulling machine, you might have seen it on things like TikTok and stuff like that. And today we're going to take a really good look at it, okay? So let's open it up. I'm just going to cut the tape here and go from there. So hopefully you can still see in frame there. This is open from beginning. They did inspect the inside box also. I'll show you that. Looks like this. I'm just going to pull this whole box out, okay? So I'm going to put this on the floor, pull the box out. I just want to show you how I pulled it out. It was upside down, okay? So let's go ahead and open that up. Obviously, they opened it from the bottom here, but let's just turn this guy over and get it right side up. How cute is that little bunny? I mean, that's when I saw the little intro, like what it looks like when they asked if I would like to review this. That is so cute. And it does pop up when you first turn the machine on, then it goes away. So it has a really large LCD screen here for you to work with, which is wonderful. I believe it's in color, all these fun things. So let's just open it up and get to seeing what we have here. Again, it was opened by basically custom, so it's a little bit open here. They did open it from the bottom, it looks like, but this is a little bit cut. So let's see. Let me readjust the camera so you can see on the very top. Okay, on the very top here we have a quick start guide, which is always great. I'm gonna put that to the side. We have the operation manual. I will say with every machine, especially sewing machines, I know we don't like to read manuals, but this manual is very important. It's going to give you lots of information, obviously, on how to use all the different functions, the features, troubleshooting. Hopefully you don't have to do that too much. All about that LCD screen. There are ways on the actual LCD screen to not digitize, but to play with some of your designs, which is really important. I think that's a really, really nice option and feature. If you are interested in digitizing, you're going to have to pick up a digitizing software. But if you're a beginner, you really want to just manipulate your designs a little bit, you're going to be able to do that with this machine right on board, which is really great. So I'll put that to the side. You have your hoops. I believe this is 4x9, but we'll get the actual numbers once we look at the program there, or the manual. You have all these accessories. You have little screwdrivers that are going to help you change out, heads and presser feet or whatever. This is only an embroidery machine. It's not a sewing and embroidery machine, so you will need this for different reasons, but we'll get to that later. You have like a seam ripper. You have extra organ needles, which is really great. Nice brand. I use those in my other embroidery machine. tweezers, like I said, seam ripper. It does come with a USB, and it actually has a little handle for your USB, or a little loop so you don't lose it, because you know it's smallish. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. Another bobbin area, which is interesting, like a replacement bobbin, and then tons of the little clear bobbins that you need to actually put your bobbin thread on, caps, all kinds of things that we'll talk about and you know need to look at later. It does actually have a replacement bobbin, the little cover. And some people said they have misplaced their bobbin covers before, so it's nice that this already has an extra one in case that happens. But generally I put my bobbin cover back, so I don't misplace things. This is a 4-inch hoop. Now if you measure it, it's probably 4 by 6 inches, but every machine that has this, it's still only a 4-inch area you're going to be able to embroider on. So if you look at the halfway mark is down here, if you're looking, you know, what it's marking like there, and it's way down here because this top 1.5 inches or 2 inches is not something you can embroider into. So even though you're looking at this and you think, oh, it's much bigger, it's still gonna only embroider a 4-inch area, this bottom portion. So always keep that in mind. What else do we have? Oh, we have a dust cover, which is awesome. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. I'm just grabbing the things from the box at this moment. We have, oh, okay, that's part of the machine. That's not gonna come out because it's attached down here. But we have the electric plug, of course, US plug, a little piece of felt. I don't know if that's just there for travel to help it, or if you're actually gonna use this to do like your first stitches to make sure everything's good, but you do have a little square or rectangle of felt there. And if I raise this up, sorry about the noise, I'm just trying to show you everything exactly the way it came. We have this guy in here, and you have your embroidery machine. So this is the the mechanism that makes it embroider. This is your carriage. Okay, so we'll look at that in just a moment. And I want to place this down carefully. Sorry guys. And then this is a machine, and honestly I think I could probably just pick it up by the handle here. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out and we'll take a look. I'm just gonna pull it straight up. Okay, so let me just readjust this. There's nothing else in the box. So I pulled this up and then that's it. So let's take this out. EOC05, and I'm so sorry, did I say 06 at the beginning? I hope I didn't. I probably did. It's the EOC05. Obviously that'll be in the title of the video, so hopefully that won't confuse anybody, and I'm very sorry about that. I might have said 06. Look how cute. Okay, so a couple things you're gonna do. You're probably gonna wanna read over the manual at least a little bit to know what's going on. You do have this cover here, or this little thing. You're gonna definitely wanna get rid of that. It already comes with a bobbin thread installed, and it's already threaded. Now, I will probably undo that thread because I'm sure in shipping things might have happened. It might have moved around. Maybe it popped out of where it should be. So I'm going to redo the top thread because I think that's important. So we will do that. Let me also, it has a little thing here. You can clear that out. Obviously, we're going to get rid of this packaging. We are going to put these things to the side. I'm going to read over the manual really quickly because what I want to do is know that I'm sure you're supposed to plug this thing in, but you know, for the first things, for your first sewing, generally you plug that in while the machine is off, because that way when you turn it on, the machine's like, oh, I have the carriage in. And so I'm going to look over the quick guide really quickly. It does have the instruction in different languages. Again, really nice LCD screen. What you're seeing right now is just like a little plastic cover that I always keep on my things, but I'm gonna have to remove it for this video, I'm sure. But I always like to keep those kinds of things on there, but you do want to see what's under that little icon. It is telling you here, you know, some really good information. You probably want to keep this handy. It's telling you the kinds of needles there are, and there are tons of needles out there, guys. So round sharp, or sharp round, regular point, or regular round point with slightly rounded tip, and they're telling you what kinds of functions that you would need those for. But on the back side, it's also talking about your needle size, delicate transparent fabrics, lightweight woven fabrics, knit fabrics, elastic fabrics, and then what you would want as far as your needle for those things, right? So when you're embroidering and you're embroidering on a delicate or transparent fabric, you're going to want to use a 965 or it's 1070 ballpoint, right? So what happens is some of these are real sharp, so they'll just start cutting your, you can imagine if you have so many pinpoints, right, from your needle, some of them are a little bit rounded, like what says ballpoint, so it's kind of pushing through the fabric instead of cutting through it. So I hope that makes sense. And that's just a better thing to use for certain things, right? So it's telling you here all that information. And to be honest, I hardly ever switch out my needles, but it is important because you don't want to end up cutting through something nice like that because it's going to start falling apart later, right? So you already have that info there, which is really nice. And let me look at this quick guide right quick. I will say this kit, depending, you know, if you pick it up on Amazon, I have just the machine here. Some of them do come with tons of threads already with your bobbins and all these other things, but this is what I received in this kit. Okay, so at the beginning it's just telling you, you know, how to do your bobbin and to thread the machine. Again, those things are already there right now, so what I'm going to do is just take this to the side. But again, some of these kits do come with stabilizer and everything, so you're good to go right out of the box. It does have quite a few items, but it does not have those items, at least not my bundle. And so we're going to take this guy. And basically you're just going to pop it in here. So you're going to slide that in. And there you go. This moved a little bit when I pushed it, but generally that's okay. And then there's a piece of blue tape here on this left side I'm going to get rid of just because sometimes that's more for packaging. It's not really for the function of the machine, so I'm just going to pick at that and go ahead and pull that away. Okay, just a little piece of tape. I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on. I'm going to plug it in. And then we'll talk about the hoops. Okay guys, so I have our cord here, a nice long cord, which is great. And I can just undo this. Sorry, I know that takes a minute. We're gonna plug this side in to the machine right down here. I will say on this side it also has where your USB. It does have like it's like a machine type of USB. I forget what it's called, but it also has a little X, like don't use that. So I'm gonna leave that on there. There's a sticker on there. You're not gonna need it. You have your USB. Some other machines I had this kind of thing, but it really was to connect to like your computer or whatever it was. And it was like one of those sticker cords. I forget what they're called. But anyhow, let me plug this guy in. And it's not on yet, so it hasn't done anything. I just plugged it in. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and just turn it on. I think everything has been removed. We'll probably take this tag off, to wind bobbins, and we'll do that in the next video. But let's go ahead and turn it on and see what it first says. Very cute. I love the way that turned on. This guy here. It's just your start stop. Okay, it's thinking. A lot of machines will move the carriage into position. That's very cool, and now it's alerting me to something because this is the first time we ever turned it on. So let me readjust the camera so you can see a little better. I'll be right back. I know it hurts my heart. I'm gonna have to take this off, but that's okay. So when you open up your accessory bag, you actually have a little pen in here to help you interact with this. It hasn't asked me like to set anything up or to do anything special, so I'm just gonna take this off. Aw, there we go. We can keep that somewhere else. And we can start doing some stuff. So I'm not going to get into all of that today. We're going to go ahead and put in our bobbin and put in our thread just so you know how that works. But, built-in patterns, right? Again, really nice big screen here. Let me see. Okay, so that was already the first thing. I was trying to press with this and it was not responding. It's the other side. This is very pointy and whatever reason it's not responding. It will respond to your finger, but you want to use this soft side. So built-in pattern, and you have all these patterns you can look through. Let's get a little closer so you can see those. So you have all these. It looks like there are 10 per set, and then you can keep going. I will say a lot of times companies include patterns that are very easy to work with. They don't have a heavy stitch density because maybe you didn't stabilize it correctly. You're learning. So they're pretty patterns, but they're going to be very simple. And so that's what I'm seeing here, just a lot of really sweet patterns. I will follow up with how to use these patterns, how to install your own from your USB. Again, it came with a USB, and I'm just going to go through all these guys. So just about 100 patterns, right, built in, right? Okay, maybe a little less. I think it's 96 because there's 4 missing there. So we're going to go back, and then you can go to letter. And hollow word, which is very cool. That's basically like an applique if you want to do it that way. But you have these guys, right? And then you can go back. It also comes with an art word is what they're calling it, which is, let me click on one so you can see how nice it is. Maybe I can enlarge this, but basically it's a monogram letter that has really cute like flowers and things like that on it. But anyway, you can go through and, you know, now they're both there, but I'm pretty sure you can move these around when you go under configure. Okay, so right now let's just go back, and I probably want to delete those things anyway, but that's okay. Pattern border, which is really fun. You have all these like circles that have like little patterns to them, squares, and I'm sure there's ways to play with this that you can make your own patches and stuff like that. But let's just say we press that, there you have your circle. We'll play with that later, but let's just go back. Text. So this is very interesting. I'm going to sit down for a second. We should probably do this in a different video, but let's say, I don't know if I want that. Let's go back. This was your erase there. Just say hi. And that's within the little circle and all that. It's showing me all the things that we already have on there are building up over here, right? You can play with the color of things. You can go lowercase. You have your numbers. You have fun kind of symbols, right? The lettering that has the little extra to it. Let's go back. My pattern, you can also save these things. Like let's say this is what I like and I want to keep it forever. You can save it, delete it, you know, send it to USB, all these things you can do here, but we'll get into that later. USB pattern, I don't have a USB plugged in right now, but if I did, when I press that, it would come up and you can go through your USB and see what's on there. Under configure, you can change things around. Like I said, it's all there, right? So I can go and maybe change the colors of some of these things, like that one, maybe I want it blue. That doesn't have to do anything with anything, because basically what happens is you're controlling that when you put your thread in the top anyway. But for you to know, like, oh yeah, I wanted that to be blue, you know. I wanted this one, I don't know. Actually, those are the same thing. So let's click on that to be another color, whatever it is. So we go to color, we can click on that one. So I press color again, clicked on it. We're getting a little further than I would like to in this, but that's fine. You can choose your frame size here, right? This has two frames, the longer one and the smaller one. Again, the 4x9 and the 4-inch frame. You can rotate your design here if you need to. All kinds of fun things that we will get into later, okay? So I just wanted to show you some of these things. And again, you can save whatever you did and it'll be your little project. So I'm just gonna delete the selected pattern, okay? And I think that's, yeah, there you go. And configure, again, we already went in there. I don't have anything on here to configure, so that's that. And then once you do and you're ready to do your things, you click embroider, right? The EMB. So what I want to do today is just show you in this next portion here how to go ahead and do your bobbin and how to thread the machine. And then in the next video, we'll do our actual first stitches. Okay, guys. So to do our bobbin, there's already one in here, but we want to talk about this. So I'm just going to grab some black bobbin thread, and with embroidery, you want to use embroidery bobbin thread. So this is specifically bobbin thread. It should say that. It's usually very lightweight stuff. So I'm going to use this. This came with one preloaded. Some people use the same top thread and bobbin thread, and that's fine, but generally with embroidery, you're just going to keep it white, or you're going to keep it black, or some neutral color that stays here forever. You don't switch out the colors as you're switching out the top color, right? The top color is always going to show, that's great. The bottom one can stay white or black or like a neutral color. You don't have to switch it out, okay? But I'm going to show you how to wind a bobbin first, and then how to place it so you'll have that information, because that's very important, and then how to top thread, okay? So let me grab a bobbin from our little bag here. But again, you have all these different tools and great things, and then you have your frames, you have your little screwdrivers, all the stuff we talked about at the beginning. You even have a thread snip, which is really nice. I like this kind because you just go, you just get close and snip, snip. There you go. The machine itself has some different options for snipping your threads and stuff like that. These little guys here hold your thread back, and we'll talk about those in a minute. So there's a larger one, there's a smaller one. Right now I am looking for a bobbin. So let's look at the top of the machine where this takes place. My presser foot is up right now, and the presser foot you can control here just with the little handle. It's back up in here on this right side. I know my hand is kind of showing you, but you're kind of pulling that up. So the press foot's already up. What I'm going to do is remove this guy because we want to place it. So you actually have 3 discs to help you with that. And while the presser foot is up, I'm just gonna slide this out, okay? I don't want this thread in there right now. I want this one in there because I want this to be my bobbin thread for now. So I'm just going to move this. It looks like, yeah, you're just gonna keep the handle down, and this doesn't actually sit up, but you're just gonna slide that in there. And there's a couple things. So this is showing you exactly how to do your bobbin. It's saying to go through number 1, number 2, number 3, and then into this space, okay? Okay, guys, sorry, I want to make sure I'm telling you exactly how they're depicting this and how I would do it, probably a little different because I'm used to machines, but go ahead, once you place that in the space there, you're going to put your little cap so that, you know, it's kind of holding back your thread. I will say, when you do this, don't put it super tight that it's just holding it completely. I always leave it with a little bit of give because that can also cause your thread to break later, so we don't want that. The company there is saying to go ahead and place your bobbin. So what I want to show you on these bobbins is that it has a little hole. It has it on either side. Both sides are exactly the same. And then they have a little notch towards the center circle, right? This little notch. So you're supposed to take this and go ahead and put it on your bobbin, the little stick here. I'm going to push it down wherever, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to give it a turn so it locks in with that little notch. So listen, you hear that little, that's what you want, okay? So it is a little bit different than you might expect from some other machines, right? So that's a little bit different, and generally I do that part last, but that's okay. So we're gonna do that, and then they want you to go ahead and put everything in. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I showed you this already, but it's showing you exactly there how to wind your bobbin. So number 1 is actually over here. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer so you can see it really well, and then we'll move the camera back. So we have our thread. Number 1 is this piece of metal here. And you're gonna push your thread under this little hook. There's like a little hook. You'll see it. Number 2 is this piece of plastic right here. So it kind of goes back and there's like a slit. You know what I'm saying? There's space under this. So that is number 2. So get your thread in there. My presser foot is up. I think we already talked about that, but I just wanna make sure you know that. Then this is number 3. Number 3 has like a little hook right here, and it has like this little guy that has a little bit of tension. If you pull it like this, it has a little tension. So you're gonna bring it. I'm kind of holding it because I'm not sure if number 2 ends here or where. It looks like it goes this way. All right, there's number 2 metal still there. You're gonna bring it around the little hook. There's a little hook here. And then get it in between this guy right here, right? You don't have to pick it up. Generally, if you just pull it, it'll go in there. I just want to show you that there's actually movement there. There's some give. And now we're gonna bring this over to the bobbin area. So let me readjust the camera. So usually on a machine, I put this little thread through one of the little holes in the bobbin, but what they're saying is to bring this over and wind it around the end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 times around here. And then down here there's a thread cutter right under here. So it says just to choose one of the sides to cut that thread. Basically I'm getting it right down in there. Let me see. There's 2 sides you can choose, and just pulling it, and I just cut the thread, but it also kind of trapped it, okay? So that's how it's holding it to the end. And now what you're going to do is, we already have it all done, you're gonna slide this towards that little silver piece of metal. Okay guys, like I said, this is bobbin winding. You can say okay, but that doesn't really do anything. What you have to do is you have to press this button to go, right? So let's just, and there it goes. You see how awesome that is? Fast. And you can stop it when you want, but honestly, if this is the first time, I would just let it fill up because you're going to need to use that bobbin anyway. So I'm going to let it fill up and I'll be right back. It shouldn't take too long. Towards the end here. Okay, and it just stopped. And so whenever it stopped, what you can do is cut it and then move on. So again, I have my little thread snip here included in the kit. There are cutting pieces down here, but it says to go ahead and snip it and then pull that away, and now you have a wound bobbin ready to go. So I'm going to show you how to install a bobbin. I'm not going to install this one, I'm going to install the white one again, but I'm going to take it out and put it back in so you can know how to do that too. Okay guys, so there are images here how to wind your bobbin. This might come off later, and guess what? It's imprinted like in the plastic here, so it is embedded there. You should never forget. But basically with a bobbin, you want it to go opposite the way you want it to get in here. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So let's pull this. That's going to pop your lid. And let's say this was empty, so you would just come in here, take it out, no problem, okay? So we want to go ahead and put our bobbin back in. So do you see how this is winding? And this is also in the pictures. It is winding out towards the left, right? If I pull it, it's going this way. It's not this way towards the right, unwinding. It's unwinding towards the left, okay? So again, opposite, so backwards. So like if I was to wind this and put it in this opposite way, it's gonna unwind in a not good way. So you definitely want, there's a picture there, it'll always remind you, so you're placing it just right in there. There's nowhere special you have to put it, just pop it in. And then you're going to bring it around to this groove. There's a groove right here. And so basically you just kind of get it in there. It'll just kind of want to hold into this little spot right here. You're going to bring it up and around, just follow the area. There's a little track there, and then when you pull it, that self-cuts, it cuts on its own. You have just put a new bobbin in. It could have been the black one, it could be whatever you want, but there it is, okay? Now let's go ahead and thread the top thread. Okay. So my presser foot is already up, right? This little thing, it's already up, so I'm just going to remove this because this is actually threaded for the bobbin, but either way, we're going to remove this thread. Okay, from the very top. And I'm going to thread it with the kind of a white, I guess it's white, it looks kind of purple, that was on here already. So let me see if I can open this. I'll be right back. I'm just going to take this plastic off. Okay, so again, you always leave the bobbin thread. If it's white, it's black, it's a neutral color, it doesn't matter. We don't switch it out in between switching out the colors for your top thread, right? Your actual design thread. But I'm going to take this guy, we're just going to place it here. And then you can follow it with the cap. Again, I don't put it on too tight because if it's too tight, it could stop the spool from really just having a little bit of give. I'm not talking about super loose, but just a little something. See, it's moving a little bit, and that's how I do it. If you end up having problems with that, you want to tighten it up, go ahead. But I always leave a little bit of give. You want your presser foot up, and you want to turn your handle to raise the needle to the highest position if it's not already in the highest position. So I know that's hard to see. I don't even know if it's worth readjusting. I'll be right back. So obviously the wheel is over here on the right, and this is the needle, it's right here. And you just want to make sure it's in the highest position, and it actually wasn't, so it needs to go up a little bit, and there it is. That's the highest position, because if I keep going, it's going to start going back down. So that is the highest position. Little presser foot is up, okay? So let's go back to the top. I will say, in their manual, they have very nice imagery of everything that they want you to do. There is also printed onto the machine what you need to do, and then the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, etc. So at the very top of the machine, we have our thread. We're going to pass it through 1 again. Remember 1, we did that earlier. So I'm not going to close up on it, but I showed it to you earlier. Then I'm kind of holding it from the back and this other side, but you're going to go through 2, which again was this piece of plastic that's just here, right? 2. You're not going to do this guy. That guy is only about the bobbin. So we're going to go down. Okay, to 3, and there's like a little lever there you want to make sure you're catching, so just go down to 3, come up into 4, and as you go and do that, there's going to be a piece of metal in there that you can kind of see, and you want to make sure it's caught. Now I know it's hard to tell, but there's a picture of it in the book there, in the manual, but if you look deep down in there, there's a piece of metal. It's like a little hook. But you just kind of go around that, and if you follow the things, you're going to catch it. Like I already caught it. I can feel that it's there. It should be pretty automatic. And then down to 5. So let's readjust so that we go down to our needle area. So we did all the top threading. Now this guy's here. Don't get it loose. Hopefully you can see right here, there's like this little guard. So presser foot is still up. We're going to get into that little guard. And it's hard for me to do it with the camera in front of me. There you go. Just slide in from the right in there. Now they want you to put the presser foot down. So I just pop this down, so that's it. I mean, there's up and there's down. And now there's this little piece of metal here, and then your self threader. So you're gonna catch that piece of metal, just kind of put your thread up under there. And when you push this all the way down, you can place your thread in this little like grippy, looks like little fork tines, just across in there, and then it should grab it. Now, sometimes it takes a couple times, so I'm not gonna, some people don't even care about this kind of thing. They rather just thread it, and if that's what you want to do, go for it, but don't let that wind around. You want it back in the front. And if it takes a couple tries, it might be that your needle isn't quite where it should be, which happens. So let's see. Let me see what's going on. I think that's there. There it goes. It caught it, but in a funny way, so that's okay. Let me pull that through. And I'm just going to pull it through out of the needle. We did catch it back there. I'm going to see what's happening. It's kind kind of weird. Let me just keep pulling. Okay. If it ends up winding around your needle, make sure that doesn't happen, okay? Because obviously it's going to get caught in a weird way. So let me lift my presser foot back up. I'm going to pull this because I need some nice new thread to do this again with. So that's fine. Put the foot back down. It's still caught where it needs to be. And let's see what's going on with this threader. I think it's more the thread than anything. There it goes. That was very good. Okay. All right, and then you just pull it through, and now your needle is threaded. Sometimes when you're threading a needle, it might only pull a little bit out, from the back. Sometimes it brings out a whole lot, so you can catch it really easy. But if you have difficulty catching it in the back, just to pull out that little loop, just use your included tweezers. Okay, guys, so that is a little bit about the machine. Let me readjust and we'll look at it again. Okay guys, so this was just an unboxing. I want to show you how to get ready for your stitching. In the next video, we are definitely going to make an embroidery design. Again, from the things that are included on the actual machine. And then I'll follow up with a USB video on how to import your own designs, and then how to use them in here once it's in. Again, you have your 4-inch hoop, your 4x9, which is actually really nice. I mean, look at this. This can go across a sweater really easily, across a shirt, backpack, whatever, like something larger. You can definitely do that with this guy. So really great sizes on those. Again, I'll have the links for Richward, which is the actual company that puts out the Poolin machine, and also for Amazon. If you're in the States, Amazon's probably the one you want to go with. The other one, you can look at the pricing in both spots. So Amazon has coupons. They have a deal going on Richward, or however, if you're interested in at least checking it out. And then in the next few videos, again, we will actually stitch out and do all that fun stuff. That is why we got it, right? So I'm super excited to try that out for you guys. Hopefully this gave you some real quick insight on the machine itself. We'll talk about changing out needles if we need to do that next time when we actually go to stitch. So I will see you at the next one. Thank you so much, Richward, for sending this item for review. I will say there's also a tension guide up here, but generally we keep it in mid-tension, which is at 4, and we'll go from there. There is, speeds and all kinds of things you can change here once you go to actually stitching. So for today, we're doing the unboxing, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, we are all set to go. So let's, pick out our design for next time and all that, and I'll see you guys then. One other thing, if you're done and you're done using it, you just turn it off, right? Over here, just the way we turned it on, you turn it off. All right, guys, just a couple other impressions. I know I like to just, I'm thinking about different things as I wrap up. The machine itself is not huge. I mean, this is my arm, and I really like that because it's compact. You have your cover for it, and the weight of it, it's a good weight. It's not super heavy where it's like, oh, this thing is, but it's a good weight, which is what you want. You don't want just some plastic machinery. You want some heavy mesh, like metal machinery in there, which is in here. It is a metal interior, like the machinery of it, so that's really nice. But I did want to give you that info because I know people are probably curious. I mean, honestly, this is not, it's a nice size. I appreciate that. Okay, I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.